recently or quite some time ago, one of your best team members, one of the best talents quit, right? And you're here wondering, how did this happen? And whether it was a contractor or a full-time team member, at some stage something went wrong. And you're here wondering, how does this happen? And they give you a whole bunch of reasons, okay? They say, oh, it's because I'm moving with the family, or it's I love the company, but I had to make this change. In reality, there are primary 3 reasons why good people quit the companies. And today we're going to discuss exactly why this is happening and what you can do to prevent this from ever happening in your company again. Let's go. The first reason people quit companies is because these companies lack culture. Simply put, people are not on the same page on where the company is going and what are the values in this organization. And values can be different. It can be growth-oriented values, right? All the people have growth mindset. They're constantly concentrating on personal growth, on financial, on professional growth. It can be freedom-oriented. They're all on the same page on how to be free from stress, how to manage their environment. You see, when all the people are on the same page, it creates a group of like-minded people. It creates almost like a community which you can value and which can recognize you for the same values as well. At the same time, if there is no certain rules and certain core beliefs in a company, what that creates is a random group of people trying to do some things together. You know, it almost looks like mercenaries fighting for dollars. And the last thing you want is a company full of mercenaries, because it's more like a pirate ship. You know, what you really need to take care of is setting up the culture right. And I have a separate video for that, the actual full-length video. I will leave the link in the description on how to set the culture in a company the right way. The second primary reason why people quit your company is because there is no recognition for them in it. They see no achievement. You see, when you're working on something, especially in the long term, you're expecting some positive outcomes out of it. Maybe it's a financial reward, or maybe it's public recognition. It's something you're doing it for. In most companies, what happens is once the person working on a particular project, it can be really anything. It can be copywriting, it can be software development, it can be marketing, right? Once they finish their job, usually what happens is their manager says, nice, here's the next task, let's go. There's little to no recognition in this. There's little to no sense of achievement. And what that creates for your people is a hamster wheel effect. It's almost like a never-ending tasks and you are not fulfilled with them. So I'm not saying you shouldn't be managing your resources properly and like give them tasks on time. What I'm saying is you need to have a mechanism to recognize people in your organization. For example, once the person finished the task, and for example, you're using Slack for communication, just like we do, send a message in general Slack group, recognize the person that, hey, this person achieved that. They've shown their willingness, they've shown their will to succeed, and they actually made it happen. So congrats to this person. And usually it met with positive energy. And it shows the person that you simply value what they're doing. Because you might be valuing the person in your mind, but you're not vocalizing it to them. And they're wondering, am I doing a great job or not? And then you say you're actually the best person in the company. How come I never saw the recognition from you? And they're like, oh, that's the problem. You see, those people are resilient. But some of the great talents, especially the A players, they just see it's not happening for them months, 2-3 months, and they just say, well, I just go find a company which actually values me and recognizes me. So we had a conversation with one of our managers this week, and she told me we have one designer who's working on multiple projects for 3 months, and she never completed them because we were quickly changing her from here to here. So she never actually had the fulfillment in her work. We didn't have a chance to fully recognize her what she's doing. So let's change their behavior quickly because I see she's getting demotivated. And this is gold when your team members raise these questions and actually make this happen in bigger organization. but you have to start with yourself. You need to see who you directly work with and make sure you recognize them for quick achievements, because that thing costs a lot. That thing is much more important than money, than financial compensation. If people are not fulfilled with their job, money just is not worth it. The third reason people quit companies is because they don't see growth opportunities in them. And I'm not saying this is particularly true for your company. Maybe you have huge opportunities for growth. Maybe you're actually scaling like 10x every single year. The problem is your team members don't see it. Okay? This comes down to communication. Just how with recognition, you need to make sure you're on the same page with people you work with. So the next time you're talking with a team member, explain to them what are the opportunities if they stay with your company. They will be winners as well. What can help, especially when you're working in a smaller organization, let's say 5, 10 people, maybe 20 people, you can even personally do once a quarter, like 2 times a year even, you can get with one-on-one a person on a call and ask, hey, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve in your life? And we're not only speaking about how much money you want to make, but what are the skills you want to learn in the next year? What are the personal achievements? Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you want to travel more. Maybe you want to climb mountains. Learn from your people what they want to do with their life and see how you can advance, how you can help them get there with your company. You see, when you connect these dots, what it creates for them is sense of, if I stay with this team, I'll be a better person next year. And this is what truly needs to happen. When you scale, then you cannot do it personally. Maybe you have someone from human resources. Maybe you have a separate person who's responsible for keeping those conversations. It is important not only to create a sense of their actually had those opportunities, but actually provide them with those opportunities. Because if people just don't see themselves getting better, staying with the company, they find the one that will give them this opportunity. And please make sure to implement this, because the real good people, we're not speaking someone who leave anyway, we're speaking about people who value what you're doing, they will stick with you long term. What are the other mistakes you see companies do that make their good people leave to another companies? Let me know in the comments. This is such an important topic, because everything we do in business, it comes down to how we operate, how we build relationships with our own people. If you enjoy this content, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because more videos like this to come. Until next time, I will see you in my next video.